23, 24.
23, 24. Are you in a good spot? Are you ready to rock?
Yeah, I feel emotionally safe. Wait, what are you asking?
Well, I mean, there's also that too. How are you feeling emotionally? Like, are you good for a podcast? Or are we gonna? We can cut the recording and we can just go straight to venting about everything that's terrible in our lives right now.
I was about to say, if I said no, would it change anything? No.
Well, everybody, thanks for joining us. That was the shortest episode we have ever done.
The shortest ever.
Ever.
Oh, it's the tweezers. Where did the tweezers go?
Yeah, you need those tweezers. I got the pliers. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the Cross Rip. We are here to go through our Eagle Moss Hero Collector Ecto-1 build. We're on issue 8. For those of you that were joining in, I don't know, it was like 3 weeks ago we did our last build, but we're finishing up that issue. We're on stage 25. We're going to do 25 and 26 tonight. And very exciting because we're going to be wrapping out issue 8, moving on to issue 9. And we're pretty much going to be finished with the engine compartment for the most part, with some odds and ends that are going to be coming later on. So that's very exciting. But if you're new to this series, Chris and I will be building. We'll be talking about all of our troubles. We'll talk through things. You're going to see it all in real time. We don't fast forward through anything. We don't time lapse anything. And part of the reason that we do that is because it gives Chris and I a chance to just talk about anything that's going on in the world, and there is quite a bit of stuff that's going on, especially in the world of pop culture. That's usually we don't talk about all the other nonsense that we just did. Just stresses you out. You don't want to deal with that. But we talk about all the pop culture stuff that we care about, and we have a good time doing it. And then you guys, you watch, you listen to us, and hopefully if you're building along, it gives you some pointers, or it's just giving you something to listen to while you are building these stages as well. So yeah. So let's dive into it, Chris. We're gonna talk real Ghostbusters and extreme Ghostbusters on YouTube. That's a whole lot of fun. There was a little bit of merch stuff that was revealed today that just some odds and ends. So there is Ghostbusters chat, and then once we get past the Ghostbusters chat, we obviously just talk about whatever comes to mind.
What merch stuff today are you thinking about?
Well, there was the Best Buy box that
the Culture Fly set.
The Culture Fly set, and we can kind of detail what that was. It's stuff that we've seen. A lot of it is stuff that we've seen before, so it's not really all that exciting. But it's cool that it's a box with a couple of like the painter's hat. I think is new, and
I don't know that it's stuff that we've 100% seen before. But then at the same time, I haven't. Best Buy had one of those boxes a while. I think they're still in stores if you check. It took a while for them to end up in Canada, but they are there.
Yeah.
But like they had socks and a different cap, and the
that was
Proton
the one that right
Pack
before Christmas, right?
Is consistent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Proton Pack and it comes with a No Ghost Moogly keychain bottle opener that I've seen before.
Yeah, there might be a few things that the hats and the wearables seem to be renewed. So
yeah, so there's a hat that's kind of like a cool sort of 80s style, neon hypercolors that sort of matches the backpack. It's got like one of those collapsible backpack, portable. I don't even know what those things are called. Like the canvas backpacks that you can just scrunch down into nothing and throw into a book bag or whatever.
I typically just call them totes. I think
totes. Yeah, that's probably a good. Yeah, I mean it's not like a full on backpack, but and then a blanket I believe is the other item.
A blanket or a scarf? I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, I'm not.
The trouble too is I went to their website to get more information, and all they listed was a GameStop one that came out. I think that might be the one that came out before Christmas.
Yeah.
The link didn't even work. So
that's funny.
I couldn't even find out details about it.
Yeah, this is sort of like Walmart has had a couple of odds and ends, like some pajamas, some kids' pajamas, and sweaters and things like that. I think these are kind of still, things that were supposed to maybe launch around the time that Afterlife came out, and for whatever reason, they're kind of just a little bit by little bit putting some of the merchandise out. So
yeah, well, I imagine certain companies like a Culture Fly versus Hasbro may be able to sit on some stuff. I suspect a Culture Fly needs to recoup its money,
especially if you license
as soon
something.
As it can.
Yeah,
right?
What if the license runs out and you need to quickly get that out, and it was only like a 2-quarter license or a fiscal year license or something.
Right, and then and not to mention, you've already invested in about 8 items being manufactured, and you got them and had to pay for them, and now you need your money back.
you got to recoup that money. So yeah, so check that out. That's at Best Buy. I think it's like $50 US for the whole set. It also it comes with a pint glass. That's the other thing that we missed. There's a pint glass that comes with it. It kind of reminds me of the
Universal Studios.
The Universal Studios one. It's that same sort of like retro fast food looking pint glass. Very cool, and is in the same sort of art style as the backpack tote and the hat.
I think it's hard to find the retro one because those were thinner ones for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe glass was in short supply in the 80s or something, but I have a couple of, like, the Star Wars ones and the Muppet movie ones and all that.
The Star Trek ones that came from Burger King, and yeah.
Yeah, and those are, from when we were kids, and they didn't care if you, smashed it and cut your lip open. So these days, tumblers tend to be, like, twice as thick and...
And they had to be able to cost 99 cents with the purchase of any value meal, so it had to not be a very expensive item to add on to a meal.
Hell yeah.
So Chris, as we're talking through this merch stuff, we're working on the radiator beam. So it's these two struts and a beam that we're going to attach the radiator, which I had to build out a little like side table here because the thing is getting so big. But I got the radiator standing by there.
I've never been happier for the table I've invested in.
I'm so jealous of your giant conference table at this point. Working on an LA.
Half of it is covered in junk. I was hoping to have it sorted by today, but oh well.
That's next time. I got this junction box here that's going to be attached to this little guy, that little guy there,
here to there, and there to here.
And everywhere.
Speaking of the Muppet movie, the Muppet Show is supposed to launch next week
on Disney Plus, right?
Disney Plus. Trying to explain the Muppet. In retrospect, the Muppet Show is a little bit of a fever dream of a show. So curious to see what my son thinks of it.
As good Muppets should be. I mean, the one thing that's the dated references and the celebrities that are not going to be of interest to our kids, I'm sure, are going to be one of those. But they're going to love that.
We'll see if their talent holds up. I think there's a few standouts, like, Star Wars.
the Mark Hamill one.
That'll be good. Vincent Price is a classic. Alice Cooper had a pretty good one too. Now that I think about it, good Halloween ones. Those two, those will be excellent come October.
Steve Martin ones are excellent.
Steve Martin. I like the Paul Williams one, but I don't think what's his name? The drummer, Buddy Rich. Yeah, like what 8-year-old's gonna know who the hell Buddy Rich is, right?
Yeah. So wait, before we get on to other stuff, Ghostbusters? Drum, no drum. Oh, it hurts. Animal hurts. Excuse me. I need my cough button, but it's not here anymore.
There you
go. There was a Loungefly pin that went up today too, like a limited edition enamel Ecto-1 pin, which is very,
with moving wheels.
Apropos. Oh, it really rolls. I did not know that part.
It does not roll. It's only got 2 wheels. I mean, the law of bicycle centrifugal forward momentum will probably still apply if you were a mouse and were to attempt to ride it. But no, its 2 wheels are separate pieces that actually rotate, which is impressive.
And so Loungefly, we talked about last week, all of their merch is up on their website now. You can go check it out, all of their bags and purses and things like that. But it seems like they're going to extend into other things, not just their usual sort of, I want to call it leisure wear, whatever. What is the appropriate for accessories? Things like wallets and purses and things like that. Not leisure wear is not the right word, but
accessories.
Yeah, so
it's a good one.
So very cool to see them supporting it, and of course Loungefly. I think they're also affiliated with Funko now at this point. So
I saw a lot of Funko stuff up on their site.
Yeah, so. Funko. I think they've got a whole lot of stuff that's probably just again waiting for Ghostbusters Afterlife to launch, and then we're just going to get bombarded with all sorts of.
That hurt.
What happened there? What was that all about?
Oh, my screams have.
Was that
frozen the audio? My stupid internet acting up again? Hello.
And he froze.
There you go.
Hello. It hurt him so bad that he froze up.
No, it hurt me so much you froze. I don't know what you're thinking about. No, I was just screwing the piece in, and the screwdriver slipped, and then the piece slipped out of my fingers, and then raked my knuckles as it flew past.
Oh no!
Ow!
So
Animal.
I'm going to try to get all the Ghostbuster stuff out of this. I'm going to get all the Ghostbuster stuff out of the way so we can talk about other things.
Sure.
But, real Ghostbusters, Ghosts R Us aired on Saturday morning, which was very fun. It was a lot of fun to just hit YouTube and watch the episode that everybody watched this week. And then Extreme Ghostbusters, as we're recording this on Wednesday evening, aired on YouTube, on the Ghostbusters YouTube channel this afternoon around lunchtime. And it was a lot of fun to just be sitting there during lunch, and the live chat, for the most part, there were a lot of familiar faces, friendly faces there that we were chatting about the episode, chatting about Extreme Ghostbusters. It's YouTube, so you get a lot of the usual Leroy Jenkins. That's not what happened, but that kind of just all right, yay, good for you. But it's fun to have these episodes out there, and to be able to watch them kind of with a communal atmosphere. I mean, it was great. You and I did our Knock Knock commentary, which was kind of like the precursor to that. And now we're getting to kind of sit with other people and do live text commentaries. And it's fun. I'm glad that they're getting some notice, and a lot of people are rewatching things. People are being introduced to Extreme Ghostbusters that may not have seen Extreme Ghostbusters. So it's I feel like it's such a good thing. Now, on the other hand, I did see Maurice LaMarche post a comment that they may not have figured out the royalties for the voice actors quite yet as to how the YouTube of it all works. I would imagine they will take good care of their voice talent some way, somehow. Probably not a whole lot of ad revenue coming out of these either, so maybe it's not something that they've been able to figure out how to monetize quite yet, but...
we'll have to see. I mean, at the end of the day, they've got the disc sets out, and it's on Hulu and streaming on CTV. So, how much ad revenue are they making exactly? Right? It just kind of feels like it's kind of trickles these days. I
think this is more so for visibility, for awareness, for people that may not be familiar with Extreme Ghostbusters or Real Ghostbusters to. Be introduced to it. I don't think they're going to air every single episode. It's probably going to be just a handful of them.
It could be. It'll also be good for building the channel prior to Afterlife too.
Yes, that's the other thing. It gets people subscribing to the channel, and so maybe 1 or 2 episodes goes up, and that's about all that they do. But it's also kind of unprecedented for the most part, with big studios putting episodes up there for free, on a brand channel like this. I struggle to find something that's very similar. You don't see StarWars.com putting up full episodes of Clone Wars on their YouTube channel or things like that.
No, but of course, we've talked about this kind of a side topic that, when it comes to releasing movies in the middle of a pandemic, Star Wars has a place to dump all of its content on Disney+. Sony doesn't really have quite the same thing, or it has Crackle, but, So at the end of the day, this is not necessarily a bad idea, right? It's you put it up there, and YouTube deals with all the technical hassles, and people can find it easy, and
it may not be lucrative monetarily for anybody involved. It's maybe operating on a loss probably, because they're going to be paying out their directors and voice talent and however they can figure out that accordingly, but.
Right, but how many Wednesdays does it take of people going, this is great, gee, I wish it was on Blu-ray, before Sony does the math and goes, I think there's a market to put Extreme Ghostbusters out on home video in North America finally. They get a good idea of, what they can do and not do with Real Ghostbusters in the home video market. How does this go?
It may also...
How does this go?
For the impatient people that want to binge watch, because we do live in that culture now where it's just next episode. My 3-year-old is next episode. I'm like, no. What? Time for the TV to go off. But, for people that watch this episode and then they immediately want more, you can drive them right to Hulu and watch Extreme Ghostbusters. Real Ghostbusters, you have to send them to like iTunes or Amazon to purchase it, obviously. But
that works too.
Yeah. So
I think these days everything is a multi-channel attack, and I think that's everywhere.
Yeah, and I feel like if I'm Maurice LaMarche, all of the other Maurice is the only one. Like Mo is the one who kind of seems like he's bent out of shape about the royalties. Everybody else kind of seems like, hey. Dave Coulier said, like, it was an honor to play Peter Venkman. He was just kind of like, wow, this thing's up on YouTube. Cool. Even though it's not his episode, it's one of the Lorenzo music episodes.
Yeah. Wow.
But it's also giving them some awareness. And who benefits from a brand new Ghostbusters animated show if this goes gangbusters? Those voice actors. Like... hey, you should be supporting this because if, things go well, which I hope they do, and Ghostbusters Afterlife comes out and they decide, hey, let's revisit an animated show. We started Ecto Force and that kind of fizzled out. It didn't seem like the right time. Let's do something else. Get Maurice LaMarche on the phone. We need Egon Spangler. Get Frank Welker on the phone. We need the man of 1,000 voices and Ray Stantz. That's just kind of how it is.
Well, it's been a banner week for a couple weeks for J. Michael Straczynski, though, because not only this on YouTube and all that, but Babylon 5, I think it's going to HBO.
Yeah, for the first time ever, it will be on a streaming service. I mean, everything old is new again. Clone High just got renewed for 2 seasons on HBO, which...
yeah, they did.
God, love Clone High. I'm just hoping that means that the original series goes up on HBO as well, because I still have garbage torrents that I got when I was in college. Like, I can't watch those anymore. They're like WMV
Did you guys not get
videos. DVD? It was an import from you. I think it was a Canadian import.
Got a DVD. Well, because Nelvana produced it here in Canada. So we, for some reason, got a home DVD. Ha ha! Suckers!
Everything's better in Canada. We know this. This is a certainty.
I have a very nice DVD set of Clone High.
See, we never got that. I mean, it was available to us, but it was one of those that you had to like buy the imported Canadian DVD. America. We're number 2 or 3, possibly 4.
Catherine the Great, or should I say, Catherine Not So Great. Punch his pants. Punch his pants.
JFK is neither confirmed nor denied that he eats babies.
That's right.
Oh, Abe Lincoln. Which is it, Abe? Pass me some of that sweet, sweet baby.
On a very special Clone High, one of these clones dies. They have the new character in it. No, it was that was a great show. I love that show to death.
There is a market for Ghostbusters. Like, I think no matter what happens with Ghostbusters Afterlife, like they've got opportunity. They have means. They have opportunity. Let's just make it all happen here. No.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was close.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
What happened?
Almost just dropped a. Yeah. Also just noticed that my thing's flipped down and everybody's seeing it. Sorry for the viewers at home staring at my junk. So let's see. This guy goes like this. What else has been happening, Chris? I think that's pretty much all the Ghostbusters stuff, really. I mean, not a whole lot in terms of Ghostbusters news, which is why it was an opportune time to do some more building.
Yeah. No, I can't think of anything offhand. I didn't double check before either. It's part of my gotta wait for Afterlife hibernation too. So.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, so this HP is gonna go through there. I'm on step 4. Is that what you're doing too? This tiny little, the horn.
Turn down the volume on the second camera. Is that what you said?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
Step 4. No, I'm halfway through step 3.
Oh, okay.
Slow your roll, Mr.
Hey, I don't know. I'll start drinking some more. With my fine Hugger Reitman glassware again. I'm just plugging everything. I got the hooded sweatshirt on. I got the Hug Reitman GhostbustersHQ.net/shop. Cheers.
2 weeks down on the limited edition
on the Knock Knock Deke Peaks shirt. Yeah. Several people have purchased theirs. I haven't seen photos.
Nice.
You guys got to show me your photos of you wearing it, because that's half the fun. But and none of this is a lucrative money-making scheme. This is not us trying to get our royalties out of Real Ghostbusters. It is, we literally just need our server renews.
Pay for the server.
Actually, our domain is up for renewal too. Don't steal our domain from us if you're out there. I don't want that to happen. But that's all happening pretty quickly here. So yeah, all of that goes to funding just all of this to work.
This nonsense.
All this nonsense. We operate for the low price of free, so that you can purchase T-shirts and be happy.
I don't know, pop culture wise, been WandaVision, yes.
WandaVision was fantastic. Should we talk spoilers of WandaVision? Because that was a pretty cool reveal, but I don't know that. I don't want to lose everybody by spoiling WandaVision.
Let's not spoil WandaVision.
Yeah.
Let's just say you can see they've started to make choices in the MCU that will account for all the is it Fox-owned stuff coming back to roost? And that's got some implications. And it's a good place to do it, too, because I think basically what they're doing is this is an early setup to Doctor Strange.
Which we know is a multiverse. We got a lot of multiverse stuff happening lately. Yeah.
Yeah, she's reality bending. And then, so she's messing with things there. That's going to, I think, lead into Doctor Strange and whatever the big issue is there. And the resolution of that is what will account for the Fantastic Four showing up and, the X-Men finally being in the same world and all that stuff.
Speaking of Fantastic Four, can we talk about... I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl because obviously that's not our audience, but there was an ad during the Super Bowl for... Son of a gun. What is it actually called? Aspirational? The Aspirational 4 or something like that? It felt like a viral ad campaign during the Super Bowl. It was, civilians are going to be traveling into space. Will you be one of them? Sign up now for. I was watching it, going like, what is this? And the I think it is Aspiration or Aspiration 4, because the number 4 has the like circle like the Fantastic Four, and I thought, oh wow, this is like a big Fantastic Four reveal. Turns out, no, it's real. You can sign up and donate to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital as part of a chance to win a 4th seat on the civilian manned mission through space. It's just kind of like a quick test flight, and it's being funded by a private CEO who's kind of like another Elon Musk type person, flying in one of the SpaceX Dragon rockets, and but it was a trip seeing that. That was the only thing from the Super Bowl that I took away, was like, I'm so attuned now to viral marketing that I don't realize that something is actually real when it's something like that, where it's mind-blowing and you go... But even the fact that it had that Fantastic Four logo was super suspect too. So I'm still wondering if it is a Fantastic Four viral campaign and we're just not going to know about it for like a year or two after this mission goes awry and everybody disappears and the whole world is like, oh, what happened to those 4 people? And then Kevin Feige's like, tune in to Disney Plus on. That was pretty cool. Everything else about the Super Bowl was pretty boring. The Weeknd was good. The Weeknd had a pretty good performance, but
I liked. Been talking about. I feel like I've been talking about Kevin Lim way too frequently, but he had
I love Kevin Lin. There's never too much Kevin Lin.
Kevin Lim. He after the Weeknd. So the Weeknd went very meme-tastic, very fast. And let me see here. Am I using the right piece for this?
Yeah, this is a little. Yes? These two horns are kind of confusing because it's like you got. It's like, oh geez, it's like basically two of this. I'm trying to hold this to camera and play this to camera a little bit, and I'm failing. But it's like these two pieces that are very similar. And
very
it's just,
similar.
I'm just checking, like the 25F.
Not.
The 25F throws me because it's the same piece. It is basically the same piece, but you're just trying to see the sort of the orientation of the two little divots that are on there.
Yeah, they seem to be opposite to one. No, maybe not. Maybe they're the same.
Well, in this one, it's weird because it like
they're the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I can change them around a bit.
But
oh no, one of them's only. This is
it is. This is one of those where it's like
one of them's got 2 bumps on the top, and the other one's only got 1.
I feel like we're gonna be redoing this again.
No, I refuse. Anyways, but Kevin, everybody had their, that bit where he's wandering through the funhouse thing.
Me looking for a PS5, or yeah.
Kevin's didn't get enough attention, I think. His was the best. He was like, parents when they find just the cap of the Sharpie.
I saw that one. That was pretty good.
That one, I was like, yeah, the pain
Where
is real.
Where is that
there,
Sharpie, buddy. And what has it been drawing on? Yes.
If you're lucky, it's just been sitting somewhere drying out. But
well, yeah, and it's also appropriate for bedtime, trying to find that one valued stuffed animal that is necessary to go to sleep and be comfortable. Parenting, it's fun, especially during a pandemic.
These are identical too. Fun.
I wish I had 4 hands, because this would be a lot easier. I gotta hold this in place. Thread the screw. I wish it was a little bit
taller. I wish I was a baller. If I had a rabbit and a hat, I would call her.
I love the fact I didn't know that. I guess I did deep down know that there were 2 horns on the Ecto, but these are the things that you learn when you're spending so much detailed, fine-grained time with the model here. That wasn't a sentence. I'm just gonna stop. Let's just not podcast anymore.
I'm done. Marie and I started Flack.
What's
of
that?
X-Men. What's her name? Rogue. From.
Anna Paquin, like actual.
Thank you.
Actual actress Rogue. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she. It's again it's strange. It's sort of like Ted Lasso, that only on Amazon Prime. That there seems to be a thing where you want to spread. They want to spread their money around production wise, so they. Oh, don't tell me it goes the other way. No, that's right. It's her in London. She's not British, she's American, but she's in London for whatever.
Well,
narrative.
You said it's Netflix reason. Or it's Amazon? It's Amazon?
Amazon, yeah. It just reminded me about, similar to Ted Lasso, that it was like a weird co-production kind of.
I was gonna say I know Netflix now has a big production arm in the UK, somewhere in London.
I think they have a big production arm everywhere. I mean,
they
came to Canada and promised $500,000, and they've been putting shows together.
And they bought that entire studio in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which we filmed the Scorch Trials Maze Runner movies at.
Yeah. But anyways, it's slightly depressing. It's got its moments, but its clever opening is that it talks about, behind the scenes of celebrity and all this sort of thing is more sordid and than you could ever really know. And then it puts up some extra text, just like this show. So it's taking a real shot at, I hate this one. I already hate this one. I hate this one. How do I get
this is a tricksy little booger.
This is a suck one. Also,
doing this the right way?
Is this even the right piece? Like, I'm looking at it in step 4, and it has a hole at the bottom bit, but it doesn't have a hole in mine. It's got a, you see?
It's just got that little, it's got this little, like, claw. You're talking about?
Yeah, see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a hole. It's supposed to be, it's a hole in the diagram, but it...
Yeah, it sort of looks like, this is what I've got on my end here. It's just this, like... space.
You're way ahead of me here.
Trippy. This is very trippy.
You and your nimble little fingers.
There we go. That's how I did it right there.
Well, that I can't really see all that well, unfortunately. But you've affixed it already. I'm still trying to affix it to the damn thing.
It's tough. I mean, the way that they do, like, the shading on their yellow, like, if you're looking at my manual here, like, that yellow... Yeah. There's no depth, so you kind of have to guesstimate, like, in that orientation, that's kind of how it looks like it's supposed to be. But anyway, 2 horns. You gotta get these 2 horns on there, because my Ecto will not function with 1 horn. I'm telling you that much. What have we been? We haven't really been watching. We're still working through Columbo.
Yeah, I heard. And toying with the idea of going to Murder, She Wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Columbo is a gateway drug to Murder, She Wrote.
It's true.
It's a well-known fact.
There was Michael Ensign was in the episode that we just watched. There was an episode that was like, it was pretty Ghostbusters heavy, because it was at the Biltmore too. There was a whole Biltmore aspect to it. Anyway, yeah, we're not really watching anything new right now. It's just it's trying times on day 329, 328. Forget where we are.
There's a podcast. I forget what her channel's called, but she reviews various things, and she's got her. It's one of those things where she did a whole bunch of stuff, and then she hit on the one thing that everybody seems to love, which is where she reviews Murder, She Wrote episodes, and she calls them like the one where the people are like, oh, you got to check out the one where she solves a murder in virtual reality, in film.
Boy. I can't even imagine.
89, right? Like stuff like that.
Lawnmower Man virtual reality.
Oh, yeah. Well, the one where they couldn't even afford that, obviously. So instead, they film real people, but they apply a video pixelation filter to it.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. It was no Neuromancer, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, the one thing that's been really interesting to watch with Columbo in particular is that jump from the NBC era in the 1970s, where everything was just spot on and perfect, and man, Columbo fit so well in the 70s. And then all of a sudden they take that time off, they make the switch over to ABC, and you can tell that ABC is trying to be like it actually makes me want to watch Moonlighting, because it's like that was ABC's jam. They wanted that like sexy Stephen Bochco, saxophone with tantalizing imagery kind of thing, and and it doesn't really work for Columbo. It's not a real you need that kind of dirty, gritty 1970s feel for him, because he's just like loves to go get his bowl of chili. Doesn't want to pay more than $1 for it, and
but I bet that aged well.
No, it did not. Yeah.
Did he ever cross over with anything?
Columbo, he showed up, like in one of those sort of weird, in a meta way, Columbo things. I forget where he showed up now, though.
See, what I love about Murder, She Wrote is that she's the hub of a... Come on, you. There we go. The Jessica Fletcher cinematic universe, which overlaps with Magnum P.I., which means because Magnum P.I. overlaps with Simon and Simon, they're all in there. Like, yeah. That's what I loved most. Like, they don't do it anymore, and part of me wishes they would. Like, this is what TV's been. At a time where TV's struggling...
Yeah.
I think they need to go back and do a How does this one
Well, they
go?
kind of do. They have like the whatever they call it, Chicago Day now, where it's like Chicago PD, Chicago FD, Chicago MD, and it's like all of the like CSI.
Yeah, the same produced shows.
Yeah,
it happens, and that's okay too. But like, I live in in my head, the fantasy is that, they do. Well, I got two. One is, and it feels like we talked about it. I want them to do like a multi-series. Like, it'd be good. Do it on a streaming thing like Netflix, so it's got 10 episodes, and the hub is Veronica Mars as a PI dealing with an old case, and it just starts roping in every TV detective you can get your hands on.
Yeah,
right?
they're trying to bring Cagney and Lacey back and a few of those, but
bringing them back is one thing. I mean, heck, they tried to bring back Magnum PI. They tried to bring back Kolchak. It's just, sometimes it hits.
They still have that. It's like Magnum PI and Hawaii Five-0 and MacGyver all on back to back to back, and they're just not the same. It's just not the same.
No. But the other one is I wanted them to do a series where they bring all the, like, you just start roping in all the different FBI. Each episode is like kind of a bottle episode that takes on the flavor of the guest FBI agents, so they could actually have a crossover into X-Files territory for an episode.
Yeah.
And that I would love. I miss those crossovers.
Well, and the funny thing about that, all the shows that you mentioned are all those shows that filmed on the Universal Studios Hollywood backlot too, and watching one of the newer episodes of Columbo, like, it's Fisher Stevens plays like a J.J. Abrams, Steven Spielberg-y type director, and it's all filmed on the Universal backlot, and you realize just like when we were kids and in the 80s and we went to the Universal backlot, it was a big deal because everything was filmed there. I mean, and you always saw the logo at the end, A-Team, Knight Rider, Magnum PI, Columbo, Quantum Leap, you name it. It was like the Universal Studios backlot was such a cool thing. And I think that was also part of it too, was like all of those shows that filmed on the Universal backlot. It was really easy for Angela Lansbury to pop over to the other soundstage for a couple hours and film on Simon & Simon because they were right there and they were all living in their bungalows and there all the time too. So I would take one step further. I want your cinematic universe. That sounds great, but I also just want to bring back the sexiness of the Universal Studios backlot. Like, what happened? What happened to Universal Studios? They just blew it. They had a great thing going, and then they were like, we don't need Back to the Future. We don't need Jaws. We don't need Battlestar Galactica. We don't all these things that like our brand. Give us Harry Potter. Give us no. Universal, get your shit together. This is my throwdown while we're building a model to nobody in particular that's ever going to listen to this. But like,
now's the time, man, to try out anything and everything.
Yes. And they tried their little dark universe experiment, which failed spectacularly, but
did it? I mean, I know it's dead, but I feel like that one they should have let it run out a little bit longer. But you know how it is, right? They put big money and effects into a movie, and if it doesn't,
and if the first one doesn't go, then
doesn't land, then they just stop it. And I'm kind of like, all right.
I have to say, so I just did the stage 6
Although
fixing this.
Sorry, I was about to say, isn't that what Paul Feig is? I mean, kind of in
the process
limbo,
of doing like they keep announcing all of these Universal monster horror movies. Like they just announced a new Dracula. Was that the one that just got announced this week?
I don't know. Universal's never gonna stop with those monsters, mind you. Those are.
But nor should they. Like that's classic. They should be mining that. I mean, in the same way that they're mining King Kong, Godzilla, like. I don't know. I'm hyped for King Kong versus Godzilla.
My fingers are too big for this.
I am very curious to see the YouTube translation of whatever just happened.
Just one. I need a.
Somebody timestamp that out there. I want to see.
Exactly. I need a borrower mechanic is what I need. That's what I need right now.
Yeah, this whole step, you're on step 4 still? Are you working on the 2 horns?
Yes, just
it's very like this is the kind of thing where you do need like the surgical is the calipers, the ones that lock into place, like you need.
You mean these?
Yeah. There you go. That's exactly what you need. I wish I had that right there.
Let's see if I can do anything with it. But these, all right.
Because you need to snap like those 2 arms. Like I don't know if anybody can see on my screen here, but the 25G and 25H, like it's impossible to get them into the plug and also be screwing down. So it's like if you had just the clipper there that just like knocks that into place, that's the way to go. I'm gonna cheers everybody. Just gonna do this while you work on that. What I was going to say earlier was it doesn't bother me, but I am one of those type of people that always loses bits and bobs that are just hanging off kind of willy-nilly. Stage 6 where you put this, or I'm sorry, step 6 where you put the cable into the generator here, that was the engine block that we had already done 2 issues ago. Throwing this cable onto here and just letting it hang, I guarantee you this cable's going to fall off. I have no idea where this cable is going to go.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned last time, in moving it around, here it is. This roly-poly little guy fell off the spatial relations.
Yeah.
That little guy fell out of the engine somewhere, and I still haven't had a chance to figure out.
There is like a little...
Where?
Like on, I want to say it's on the oil filter. There's like a little plug. But it's kind of difficult. And I before we started recording, Chris, I went on to issue, because this is 8. I went on to issue 9 just to kind of see what's ahead of us here, and we've got a whole lot of like flipping this upside down and working on the left and right exhausts as well. So I am concerned. I'm concerned about this here engine. I need to find a way to protect this when it gets flipped over. We talked
about this last time. I think we need to get ourselves some little chunks of 2x4 to, just as mounting blocks to flip this thing around on,
So I'm just going to get 26 ready here while you're finishing up.
This is what we're talking about right here. Just trying to get that stupid little screw into place.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of difficult because and if you didn't tighten everything down, it sits. I won't lie, it sits kind of. There's a little bit of wobble to it still.
Wobble.
Yeah, but that's what mine ends up looking like there once you're all wrapped up.
Well, there's something to be said for building an Ecto that's a little rattle trap.
I'm not gonna lie. If this thing were roadworthy, it would be like the real 59 Caddy that just breaks down after they drive it 4 blocks. That Sean Bishop's Janine is a impeccable machine. He keeps that thing so finely tuned and has it's a perfect machine. And even his breaks down from time to time. Like when the Walmart commercial that they did where it was all of the cars showing up to the store pickup, when they needed the car to be hauling down the streets of downtown Los Angeles, they called Sean because they knew Sean's car could handle it, and the original 1984 car could not. Like they can't even, they have to tow the poor original Ecto, just has to get towed everywhere because it can't handle it.
I'm up to radiator.
All right, get that radiator on there. Radiator springs. All right, I'm just going to set 26 aside. 26 is going to be the control box, battery, and oil reservoir. And it doesn't look that bad. But okay, so this is good because Chris, I was kind of telling you, we start getting a little bit of support around the engine here too, so that when we flip things over, I think there's going to be a nice flat surface that not everything is going to be resting on all of the engine parts, those frail engine parts.
Yeah. All right.
Just throwing that out into the distance.
Oh, if you say so.
Dave Letterman. What else is going on in the world?
I live in this weird world where I'm using the magnetic tiny screwdriver to place the screw, but the heads aren't as good, so I'm switching over to the other tiny. What else is going on? I don't know. Cash up front.
Shamelessly plugging mugs over here.
I don't care. Cash up front.
Okay.
Did you ever watch home movies?
Brendan out.
The
Jeremy
Brendan,
in.
The
McGurk.
band with that one, and they're playing the Ren Fair, and it's like, where's our money? And it's like, you guys haven't played yet. I don't care. Cash up front. No, you don't get paid until after. Okay, whatever.
I'm trying to find the right way to put this when we're being filmed and recording audio. We watched a lot of home movies in college, and I don't remember a lot of it.
No, there you go.
I remember watching it, but I don't remember a lot of it.
You should go back and watch it. That and Dr. Katz, actually.
I never really watched Dr. Katz. I feel like
you
I should
watch
do that.
Dr. Katz, especially to see who was on it, and like Ray Romano before he had his show.
Ray Romano.
And stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of names on there that, were New York comedian names, and that's how they got on there, but had not, there's a few, like, I think Gary Shandling was on, and Gary Shandling had his shows, so, I mean, there were some bigger ones. Man. Seinfeld, I think, was just at the start of his series, but, there's others like Ray Romano hadn't blown up yet, but he's on there, and you get to hear a little.
Romano.
It's funny listening to a little bit of his neurotic shtick before it changed mildly to be just anxious, dad homeowner and stuff like that.
Speaking of Gary Shandling, I feel like that's how I should be spending this pandemic, is just watching all of the, like, It's Shandling Show, Larry Sanders, like, man, I love Gary Shandling, and I feel like I don't have a wide enough grasp of all of his material.
The Canadian newsroom? Were you in on that early on in the pandemic?
No.
I thought I did. I was
the Canadian newsroom, like the Sorkin show? Like,
oh, no.
Different newsroom.
Ken Finkelman. Like on the CBC, there was a show well before the Sorkin one called The Newsroom. About kind of like Toronto CBC, although never named as CBC news crew, and oh man, it was great.
I'm trying to maybe that is one you sent me. I never have, because I also have a hard drive of stuff.
Watch it.
Well, I have a hard drive of stuff with Clone High on it of awesome things that were. Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which I adored when it aired, but I haven't watched it since, is sitting on that hard drive.
I put some good stuff out there for you guys. The American, well, I guess they were both American, but the remake of Failsafe, where they ran it live on two coasts.
Right.
Which was fantastic. The original one was the one that kind of semi-inspired Dr. Strangelove, because it's about, nuking Moscow and all that. And I managed, when I was in Germany, I found the DVD of the... it was weird. Like, they ran it here twice, and it's gone. I don't know how many people even remember it. But it had everybody. Like, half of the ER cast, half of West Wing, George Clooney. Like, it was just... Everybody was in on this, and it's, this telling of, an error in, the 50s, and a nuke bomber is on its way to Moscow because they think it's, World War III, and they got to get their first strike in, and they can't recall it, and Richard Dreyfuss is in it. They shot it in black and white.
Was Wonder Woman in this one? No, just kidding.
No. But I was in Germany on business, and they had the DVD at a store, so I grabbed it, right? Obviously. All right. 6. Fixing the cable to the generator.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So that's an easy step. Just grab those tweezers and throw that cable in there.
Mind you, Now that we're further along in the year, I may slightly second guess my sending you guys a nuclear apocalypse movie. But, it felt safer early on. Take your mind off of one apocalypse.
Hey,
watch this one.
Think about other things like who's holding the nuclear codes right now. Speaking of Wonder Woman, we haven't really.
Oh
no! We haven't really talked about DC stuff. Like we talked about their DC whatever their live stream was, which I thought was Fan Zone or Friend Zone, the DC Friend Zone, which I thought was a great idea, and they really executed it well. Have you seen the new Joker?
Sort of. Their teaser Leto drove me nuts because they were like, they give everybody a sneak peek, and I'm like, it's blurry. That could be me, for all you idiots know, right? But everybody went nuts over it.
Yeah, it's like a trademark, Zack Snyder, Leica black and white photo of Joker, Jared Leto Joker, sitting in a chair, looking, like he just killed a dozen people. I cannot get excited for anything about this Justice League thing. I know it's probably going to come back to haunt me, but like I can't. I'm not. I don't know. I want to see the imagery and I want to get excited about it. When we saw the Robert Pattinson Batman trailer, I was like, oh, that looks fun. Like that got me excited, but I just can't muster up any excitement for the 4-hour opus. And I think what reminded me is you talking about miniseries, because we also talked about, my wife and I were figuring this would be the time, if ever there was a time, to bring back the event miniseries network movie. Like bring back the 5-night event Camelot or whatever it ends up being. I mean, Camelot's a stupid idea. Don't bring back Camelot unless you bring back Robert Goulet for it, but that's a different story. Yeah, I don't like it. It seems like I would be totally down with watching a 4-hour Justice League miniseries right now, and I'm just not into it. I can't. I don't know, and it hurts me. It hurts me as a fan of all of those characters to not really be into it. But
yeah, I mean, I enjoy them when I see them. I don't go out of my way to see them. The Marvel ones I go out of my way to see because they tend to do. What is this hose? Step 6 is presumably for the little cable that came in this set, but I already had a long hose attached to it that kind of attached to something else.
Oh, really? It was just that little...
yeah.
Let's see if I can pull this guy over. Boy, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Just like this little guy right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the worst of it is like, they're like, oh yeah, take this one and jam it in there. It's like, well, I think that's why I put this extra long one in place, because I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to get it into place now. Like, if I pull this long one off, how am I going to get this little one into place? Especially since I don't seem to...
Well, there was an extra long one. Wait, there was still an extra long one that was just chilling. Where is that one?
I mean, I guess I could take it off until...
Is it on the backside here?
Your backside.
Well, no, there was the extra long one that came all the way down to the rear of the car.
No. This one's only about 3 inches long. It's long. It's like twice as long as this little one that came in this kit. Just, I don't know.
Interesting.
Oh, this will be like a full-on IKEA Ecto. You're gonna have leftover parts.
You coil up the cable a little bit and it'll be fine.
I really need a bit more.
All right, so I'm working on the battery here. Yeah, what else is happening?
You were talking about Warner. I mean, Yeah. I'm waiting for Titans to come back on. I was enjoying that. I bought the season over the holidays for Stargirl because seems to be pretty good. I mean, I know it's aimed at a CW crowd, but I'm sure.
Have you watched the new Miyazaki movie, the Hedwig and the Itch or whatever it's called?
Yeah, that's not the Miyazaki one, but okay. All right, pal. No, I have not. I have not heard. Is it on Disney Plus?
It's on HBO Max. There needs to be a TV guide for all of the streaming services now.
They really do. I'm about to wash everything out really badly here because I really need.
Yeah, get yourself some light on there.
Some light.
Same thing. I've got a work light here that's right above my top-down camera that nobody can see, but occasionally, from time to time, you do have to pull that guy out. And I need my DP screws.
I'm waiting on the new Suicide Squad. I'm really looking forward to that.
Matrix. Are you excited for Matrix at all? I feel like I'm excited for it. I'd like to see them redeem themselves. The Wachowskis.
I don't see it as a redemption thing because, frankly, that was an early instance of Game of Thronesism, Lostism sort of thing, where people were just sort of like, that sucked, and I was like, really? You saw robots fight for 2.5 hours and you're complaining? Okay, great. It's been long overdue to remind people that I judge the world on a scale of Highlander 2. So it takes a lot to really make me go, well, that was a piece of crap.
Is it Highlander 2? We should bring that back. That is one of the things that started at the very beginning of this podcast, and I loved.
Yeah,
I think it was especially in reference to Ghostbusters Answer the Call. It was I think
that's where it came up the most. Yeah, is it Highlander? Yeah. Okay, you moved on to stage 26, have you?
Yeah, I'm on 26. I just started absentmindedly working here.
Once you go to the theater and you see Highlander 2, and they take Highlander about mystical, magical immortals sword fighting through time, and then turn it into the future, and they're aliens that you have to go, wow, all right.
Yeah.
So, by the time they got to the end of the Matrix series, it's not like they went, it was all a dream or something dumb, right? It was all built around the idea he was the one. So it was just a variation of the story of he was the one. I was like,
he was the one, and he had to sacrifice himself for the greater good. And
I was like, it was a 3-movie, Jesus narrative. What are you guys expecting on that?
And
right?
Did provide some of my favorite, just go-to jokes that if you get it, you get it. My downstairs neighbors love to throw on some dance EDM. 6-7 o'clock. They're very respectful, and I appreciate that. They know that everybody goes to sleep at terrible hours here. But every time they do it, I just love going for Zion, and my wife gets it, and that's all that matters.
So I'm waiting on the Matrix just to kind of see, because the third, whether you liked it or not, just kind of wrapped everything up, I thought. So
it was pretty definitive. It was, and kind of left it in a good place where it was in a Mad Max movie, everybody is freed and they're all out there. They're gonna rebuild society. Cool, there it is. So I have no idea where it takes it. I'm hoping that it sort of takes it in a direction of kind of funny to what you were just talking about. Everything was a dream. The Matrix was another simulation. This is a simulation within a simulation. You won. Congratulations.
Well, here's my thinking. What I was kind of putting my money on was what is this other piece I'm supposed to have here?
I just want something to blow my mind. I want it to just be what the heck?
By the time they got to the end, the whole premise is that this kept happening time and time again. One of the things the AI could not solve was sooner or later the percentage of humans that they couldn't blind forever would figure it out and rise up, and they kind of have to burn everything down to the ground and start all over again. And every single time there was the one and all this sort of thing. I think the one place they go this time is they were like, crap, the one actually did us in. But the system's kind of still in place, so it reboots with a bunch of people still in the Matrix and a bunch of people that survived from the last one knowing what really is going on. And Neo comes back, but he's not human Neo. He's digital
recreation Neo.
The one Neo.
he has made himself one with the Matrix, so he is there.
Or it reboots, and now it's not, the malicious AI element is gone because he kind of crapped that. But when everything reboots and he sacrificed himself, maybe he gets put in the what's that guy in the what did they call him in the room full of monitors, right? Like,
oh, he's the whatever, the Watcher. Again, I need to go back and rewatch these. Yeah, was it the Watcher? Yeah. But
that's just guessing, like, and then frankly, that's the only reason I'm going to go. It's kind of like, okay, where did you guys think this could go? I'm a big boy. I can go see a fourth movie that may completely mess everything up. Well, it'll be interesting to see too, because for all we know, it may do something, and I go, oh, that kind of messed it up. But everybody who hated how it ended goes, yay, they fixed it. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, for better or for worse, the way that HBO is and Warner Brothers are doing it, like, we're all going to watch it. Like, that's kind of the brilliant thing about the way HBO is releasing stuff is I watched Wonder Woman and I had no desire to watch it, but because I knew it was out there and I knew I had to watch it before the day that it expired, I was like, okay, I'm going to watch Wonder Woman. I
still haven't watched it. So.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's there and it's available, so it's actually driving me to watch the content, which is great.
Right.
I will probably watch some of the movies that Warner Brothers is releasing that I probably would not have watched before.
Godzilla Kong I want to see.
Godzilla Kong, like I still haven't watched. What was the most recent one? There was Skull Island, there was the Godzilla movie, and then there was the third one. Jacob Walsh is screaming at me right now if he's listening.
Godzilla 2, or was it the second Godzilla movie?
Was it like a King of the Monsters remake? No,
they called it Godzilla.
It was Godzilla something
or other, right?
Yeah.
I forget what they called it.
But have not watched that one yet.
Which is fine. They're heading into a modern CGI era of, destroy all monsters. I'm on board. Like, I'm on board.
Yeah.
Like, and even in the trailer, like, showing Kong and Godzilla fighting, and everybody starts going, oh, I need my theory and I need to be up there on YouTube because why is Godzilla not as big as he is in the other? I was like, shut up. Like, somewhere your 6-year-old self is just looking at you in disgust going, what the hell are you talking about?
Man. One of the things that I love that Comet keeps doing is they're doing all of their Godzilla, like on New Year's Eve, they ended up doing a Godzilla marathon, and you end up watching movies like Destroy All Monsters, and it's just like, for all the complaints that you hear about the new movies, it's like, well, yeah, that's what Godzilla movies are. Like, what are the human characters doing? I don't know half of the time. Like, the human characters are so ancillary that they don't even need to be there, but...
Have you seen is that EP? It's too small, I can't see. I'm at the moon.
We love the moon.
I've been listening to a lot of the old radio, Mighty Boosh, actually. That one's IP, okay.
Yeah. IP.
Have you seen War of the Gargantuas?
Which one is that one? Refresh my memory. I may have seen it.
The two simian-esque. Why does it say? Oh, right. Not these old ones. Put the old packets away, Chris. Okay. Get the new ones out, Chris. Okay. Oh, okay.
Is that the one that starts out with the thing floating in space and everybody's just wondering what's floating in space?
No. These are they're like giant simians. They're not super huge. One's good, one's bad.
Well, that's Mechagodzilla, right?
It's one that
they all mold together to me.
Old time monster kids are really into because I see it referenced all over the place. Like what was the series? Mystery Incorporated. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. That series,
which is a lot of fun. We started watching that one not too long ago. Yeah.
I recommend Be Cool Scooby-Doo too. I know people kind of, but it was funny. I liked it. It's referenced in it. Like, they even play the song. There's a nightclub scene in War of the Gargantuas where they have like a lounge singer. She's singing a song. Oh, the words get stuck in my throat. It's a really great song, actually. And they actually flat out have a tiki style bar like lifted from the movie.
That's awesome.
And a singer singing the song from War of the Gargantuas.
I don't think I've actually seen that one. As you're describing stuff, I don't recollect seeing any of that.
And the mystery is, these two giant monsters that are very reminiscent of some old movie monsters. It's got what's his name, Jacoby from Twin Peaks in it too. Early role. Hello, cat. Can I help you?
Meow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mystery Incorporated, we were watching Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, which are to name drop Sean Bishop again. Sean did an episode of...
Did a couple, I think, didn't he?
He did the Kenan Thompson one, and then maybe he did a second one. We didn't get to finish watching them because they disappeared from VOD. It was the weirdest thing. They were on demand, and we had them in our YouTube TV to watch, and then all of a sudden they were gone. So I don't know if they're supposed to be coming to YouTube or to HBO or something, or...
The one that didn't go anywhere, and I was very disappointed, I forget what it's called, but did you ever see the puppet Scooby-Doo?
No.
Oh, I should try and remember the name of what that is, but it's, it's fantastic. They made, like, puppet versions. It's like watching a Muppet Show episode, but it's Scooby-Doo.
That's funny. That can always go sideways. Like, my daughter, she loves watching, there was a Book of Pooh, which if you're out there and you're familiar with it's weird. It's like a puppet version of Winnie the Pooh with Tigger and Rabbit and all of those guys. And it's fun. Like, I understand why she likes it, but it's just this weird 1990s, everything is green screen comped in. So to me, it's like so jarring.
Scooby-Doo Adventures, The Mystery Map, which again tells me that they were hoping they were going to make more Scooby-Doo Adventures, and this was the first one. But you should try and find it, because I guarantee you she'll love it. You won't hate it either. Like, it's a lot of fun to watch along with the kids, but oh man, kids are mesmerized.
And I feel like that's why I'm not adverse to watching Scooby-Doo with her, because it's always fun. Like, there's always something in there. Like Scoob, the movie Scoob, which you and I have talked about a couple of times. Like, there's stuff in there for me. There's a lot of stuff in there for her. Like, it works on so many levels. It's kind of the reason I love watching Bluey, which is an Australian show that's like, it's for little kids, but like there's stuff in there for us parents too.
Was that one of the last ones to come out before the pandemic hit? I feel like I went to the theaters for that one.
Yeah, Scoob made it to the theaters just barely. Here it came out, it was like on like the Amazon premiere, whatever. You had to pay the $30 to watch it. And then like 3 weeks later it was on HBO Max.
I really like that one. And again, see, this is the thing about Warner. And this is something you can see it leaking through everywhere, right into their DC titles and everything. Where the hell do you go? Step 2, the battery. The screws go in underneath, right?
Yeah. Those deep. It's kind of it's misleading because the way that they draw this like line, it makes you think that it's going into the arm here, but it's not. It goes into the bottom. Like those 2 DP screws go into the bottom. Yeah.
DP. That's me doing Chad again.
Bottom.
DP.
Chad.
Chad.
Cool.
Oh, sorry, my bad. The Scoob one was another example of a group trying to build something, and for whatever reason, the corporation is just not behind them. Like Scoob Adventures, one and done.
Yeah.
Because somebody said, it would be fun, the young Scooby gang done as puppets. But it never got a chance to run. And Scoob, same thing, right? Like, they did that one where they're like, okay, we're doing the Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. We are setting up wherever we can. Are you supposed to go like
and every reference, I mean, the Tracy Morgan Captain Caveman, I will keep coming back to until they make another damn movie with him, because that was perfect. It was so good.
And Teen Angel, like, they set up the Teen Angels. They had everything. Like, even the end credits, they were making references to the Impossibles and and I was like, I am in. Do it. Like, start making me more movies. But I don't know.
I think that one. Number one, you can, and I think we've talked about this before. I'm having crazy deja vu, but I think you can attribute it to the bad title, Scoob, which didn't tell
Scoob
anybody anything about the movie. And number two, the pandemic. Like it literally hit that March or April when stuff here was shutting down. So it was like you didn't get any box office. Kids had no awareness of it. I didn't see any commercials or print ads or billboards, or there was no advertising for it.
But this is the thing, right? Like, everybody can see and list all the external factors that would negatively impact this thing, but all they see is the bottom line and go, nah, didn't work. Next. And, and next, as it turns out, is an animated adult, they're doing Velma Daria is what they're doing.
Velma, yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I'm down. It seems like a weird choice, but like, so did WandaVision. I saw somebody online was like, you didn't know that you wanted a Wanda and Vision sitcom, but everybody's loving it, and I am loving WandaVision. So, except everybody keeps you say WandaVision, and your mind hears long division every time, and there's like something in the back of my head that's like, oh, math. But anyway, it's beside the point.
Yeah.
All right, so I just put the oil reservoir on. I don't know if you guys can see there. That was actually pretty easy. You just had to put the oil cap on.
These steps are not too bad.
This sits a little loose, which obviously it should. The oil cap should be removable. Obviously, you're never going to remove it.
I love in step 2, they let you guess which orientation the battery is supposed to go in. That was fun.
I mean, it kind of... There's only one way for it to pop on there.
There is, but you have to literally try it, and if you get the wrong way, then you got to fiddle with it.
All right, so let's see. Where are we at? Well, we're at an hour. Okay, so we're not going to get to 27. We're not going to move on to the next issue. But I'm going to start putting this radiator beam
I may just give up.
Here.
I'm done. No, I'm not
don't
done.
give up. Chris, you can't give up.
You're so close. I need to rethink the lights approach here, I think. I was really... I got some great filming lighting for me. Terrible for putting
stuff together. Yeah, that was after our last... It's kind of funny because Chris Thompson at Hero Collector, who's a wonderful person, follow him on social media. He's a very busy dude and works super hard.
He's keeping in touch with us and everybody else.
And he was asking us how the build is going, and I felt bad when I told him that we were only on step 25. Because, you look at Jason on Ghostbusters News, and he's on, I don't know, he's almost done with his car. But I told him, like, we're trying to do this top-down thing and have people build with us. And it just takes time, obviously. And we do, one a week or one every 3 weeks. And so
let's
we don't
not
really
lay
get too
this
far
on anybody
through,
else. We're just kind of slow.
We're also slow.
There's a bunch of people out there completely, totally not building along with us going, yeah, this is all on you guys. Don't blame us.
Yeah. But yeah, so at any rate, it's kind of funny. Like, I feel like the amazing people at Hero Collector are very anxious to hear how we're doing on our build and if, what we're experiencing and what we're having trouble with. And they're like, come on, move it along, guys. What are you doing? You're only on issue 8? Please. So anyway. All right, we're going to put this radiator beam on here.
Cross rip, not the Hero Collector build hour. It's only occasionally the Hero Collector build hour.
I wish it was. And especially the more that we get into 2021 here and we're just waiting for Afterlife to come out, like maybe we're just going to build sequentially for a few weeks. I'm not opposed to that either.
As the car comes together more and more, I get more and more. Like early on, that first step was really exciting. The hood and the plates there. Like, it's a real good one to get you kind of jazzed about where you're heading.
They did that on purpose. They really did that on purpose. Yeah.
Then you start slogging through the engine, and you're like, I'm not even much of a car guy. What the hell? I know the basics on my car. What am I doing here? And now that we've got
There's
the
two
entire
horns? Do I have to put both horns on?
The chassis plate is in place, and 2 wheels, and all this. And we're getting the radiator in place, and I'm looking back at the front grille, and I'm like, I can kind of see where we're going here, actually. I'm starting to get more and more excited and more tense about where the hell I'm going to put this thing when it's done.
I mean, as maybe, let's see if I go, I've got a table here so everybody can't see, but I have finally put up, ooh, there it goes. It's going to go right behind me here.
There you go.
At least for now. Until...
Attaboy, Luther!
until something else makes me move stuff around. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Chris, we're getting close on our 300th episode.
Yeah.
And you and I have kind of been going back and forth on what the best way to celebrate is. We've talked about, do we get a big, awesome guest on? Do we do something special like a retrospective on what the show has been over 300 episodes? I feel like we can kind of tilt our hand a little bit here. Maybe, possibly.
Sure.
Here's what we want to do, everybody out there. And I bring this up because I want to do it as a springboard. I want you to tell me how you think about it. We have done 290, this is going to be 292, I want to say, episodes.
2 more months.
So we're getting close to 300. That means that for 300 plus hours, you've been listening to us. And we've done voicemail episodes, and we've had you guys kind of guest, and we've had people come on, but Chris and I have been toying with this idea, and we want to hear what you guys think. We're going to do like a big live blowout bash with our listeners, and we're going to do a Zoom chat where people can come hang out in the waiting room. We'll start pulling people in, 1 or 2 at a time, and just start talking with you guys.
Turning Ryan Dole away at the door, that sort of thing.
Sir, a lot of people's girlfriends are in there.
Your name's not down, you're not coming in.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Chris, you and I have kind of just toyed with this. We haven't really 100% decided on this. So maybe it's better that we kind of do this on the air, and everybody can also kind of chime in. Like, do you want to hear from each other? Do you want to join us for our 300th episode? Would you rather Chris and I spend our time and our energy and our effort into getting like some sort of a guest? Because we can do that too. Tell us. Hit the comments, call the voicemail, hit us up on social media. Just let us know what you're thinking because it's as much of a celebration for you guys as it is for us. You know, we've done 100 episodes. We hit 200 and we didn't really do anything. I think I don't even remember what we did. Did we do something for our 200th episode?
Well, we marked it. I don't know how super special it was.
I don't remember. It's at a certain point we got to 100. We're like, holy crap, we did 100 episodes, and now we're like 300 in. We're like, have we really done that many? It doesn't really seem like that many.
Or maybe we just do. Maybe we take the day off. How about that? Happy birthday to us.
We will just air an hour of silence.
An hour of dial tone.
Yeah. The podcast you have attempted to reach is unavailable. Please try your call again.
We'll play the signing off music from Poltergeist.
Oh, man. Daniel Clamp of Clamp Industries, he's had this tape ready, and he's going to play it for you now. So I don't know. Yeah, tell us. Do you guys want to do that? And if so, we're going to make it, we're not going to just make it so that everybody has the Zoom link. So if you are interested and you want to join us, when you tell us if you want to do that, if you want to see or hear listeners, tell us if you're interested in participating, because we'll send that out we'll do like an invite only kind of thing where we, allow some of you guys to join us. I don't want to just post a public thing because that always goes awry. And it's just Chris and I. We don't have a moderator to make sure that
that's how you get Ryan Doles. I mean, come on.
I'm having a lot of trouble with this.
Where do those... Oh, man. Where do those the little silver... Next page, probably, right? Yeah, okay. Hang on, I'll get there.
This is not really working. So yeah, that's 300. That's coming about 8 weeks from now. So you got about a month and a half before we hit that. But Boy, I thought this was going to be a lot easier to drop this in here, and it is not. So getting this radiator bar on, you got to get the... Like, it calls out specifically, like, fitting the cooling pipes into the radiator, which is great. Yeah. And then there's the little pegs on the bottom, which kind of just need to...
Part of me is starting to feel like we should have been painting these as we went. Oh, well. You know, there's somebody out there that built it, they painted it like a maniac.
I mean, I've actually been thinking about doing bonus episodes where we do some weathering, like painting up the engine parts and kind of getting some grit and grime and grease and stuff in there. Yeah. Son of a bee sting. Let's see.
Oops. I put it on too soon. I flip the page. I touchy the fish.
Hey, where the crap is that Sctv Netflix documentary that Martin Scorsese did?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Somebody on social media, and I apologize because it was somebody that I know and respect, was like, yeah, true crime documentaries and everything, Britney Spears, totally fine. Where is the Sctv documentary? Like, that thing was filmed and premiered 3 years ago. How come that has not seen the light of day yet?
Think they're trying to get the rights out of somebody and they said no? Somebody wasn't feeling their performance?
Or are they trying to do a theatrical release and they're just holding on to it until theatrical releases are possible again? But that wouldn't make sense because that was... no way.
Well, I think even in a pandemic, there's ways to get your Oscar okie doke by putting it into theater, even if nobody shows up, right? Like,
I mean, they have been toying with like exceptions this year in particular for the Oscars.
That's got to be coming up soon. I'll be curious to see how that goes.
That's usually in February, but I know that they just delayed it, I think indefinitely, honestly. Whoa. I don't know that was a good sign. Just heard a giant crunch. All right, get in there, cooling pipe. What the heck? Start cooling pipe. Boy, this is not good radio. Everybody that's listening on the audio right now, I am so sorry. This happened last time we built too. It was just like Chris and I were very intently trying to build stuff, and it got quiet, and I was like, I'm gonna cut this out. Our poor audio listeners. Yeah, I cut out some dead air.
It doesn't. Why do I keep having to go back to this page? Okay, it goes forward. Fine. Fine, do it that way.
What are you? Are you working on this bar too? You're putting the battery on, or the oil reservoir.
Oil reservoir.
Oh, it's catching. Oh, did I finally get it? Oh, I'm so excited. This has been such a pain in the ass. Unbelievable. Who would have thought putting the radiator beam on was going to give me such a ridiculous amount of trouble? Let's see. What else can we talk about, Chris? What else is going on, man? Do you have a PS5 or an Xbox, whatever it's called, Series X? What is the new Xbox called? That was terrible Xbox branding, X? By the way. The Xbox One and then the Xbox X?
No, I have an Xbox One.
A good friend of mine who actually works in the video game industry as well as you do, his PS5 bricked on him, and I felt bad for the poor guy. He finally got one after who knows how long trying to find one, and it totally bricked on him. And he had to send it back to Sony.
Yeah, that's
First
one's out the door. Tend to have that problem. It's kind of like the last Xbox. Red Ring of Death was a real issue for the first half of that production run.
Oh, I remember the Attack of the Show, the Red Ring of Death single. Hey, G4 is coming back. We haven't really talked about that. How do you... was G4 even a thing in Canada? Did you ever see any of G4?
I met what's-his-name at CDC.
Adam Sessler, Kevin Pereira, which one?
Adam Sessler.
Sessler, yeah.
He was wandering around, feeling big fish, little pond sort of thing. So more power to him. What? Okay.
For transcriptions of this week's Crossrip, please go to ghostbustershq.net/transcripts, where you will get all of the guttural, the what's, the terrible screams.
Can I have a sandwich with a pickle?
Ooh, I want a sandwich. Where do I get a sandwich from?
Oh, it's Black Books.
Oh, okay.
You haven't watched Black Books?
No.
You haven't seen Black Books?
I have not seen. What's Black Books? Tell me more.
Dylan Moran, Bill Bailey. He runs a used bookshop. I guess, is it the Soho area of London? And his dream is that nobody comes in to buy a book, so he can just sit and read. And he's... it's pretty good. It's well worth watching. The first episode is all about him needing to do his taxes, and somebody reads to him that there's an exemption clause to doing your taxes. That if you're injured, so he runs out into the street and picks a fight with a bunch of skinheads.
Okay, that gives you an idea of what it is. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's well worth it. It is comedy gold. Especially that first season.
Sounds a little bit like spaced Edgar Wright. It
was around the same time, actually. Simon Pegg actually shows up in the third series as...
That guy's everywhere. Is he just... He's on retainer for the BBC, I swear.
Well, he just knew everybody. And he's good, so that always flies. He was the slightly creepy, cultish... big box bookstore that opens up next door. He's the manager. And he's like, now, I'm going to give you your do-do-do-do. And he's like, what, the what? And he takes a card and he slides it through the reader and it goes, do-do-do-do. So now every time I use my Interact debit card, I call it, it's like I asked the waitress, could I get the do-do-do-do? She's like, what?
Do-do-do-do?
Can I get the do-do-do-do? The machine?
You know, we never finished Truth Seekers. That just reminded me. I haven't finished Truth Seekers either. Gotta do that.
I finished it.
Got to do that. So I'm gonna really quick just point out something that I did. If you were watching me work, I don't know why you would be.
Why would I be watching you work?
25K, this hose that comes out of what you just assembled on the radiator block in. I grabbed one of the hoses that came with this stage, but it's actually it's connecting here to the cable on the generator plug that we put in the last step. So don't do as I did and put another cable in there, because you're gonna feel remiss. So I actually feel great about what we did before, and I was worried that this was gonna be sitting loose. It will not be sitting loose.
It will not be sitting. It will not be loose.
It will not be loose, because the other we got to be putting on. These are the ground terminals. Okay, we got to be doing this.
What?
Got it.
What? Okay, well this one I can do because it's because it's upside down. Fine. That one I can make fit, but the other pipe is like down at the. They're like, first put this in place. Yep. Now you can't get the thing I'm pointing at. It's like, ugh. Like I may literally have to flip this thing upside down to get at that. That's annoying.
Where is 26i? Oh, it's this little guy. I see. Wow, these are tiny, tiny little pieces here. 26i, which is the ground terminal, is just this itty bitty thing. I'm gonna lose this damn thing. I know I'm gonna lose this thing.
Bright light.
I don't know, what else? How are you doing, Chris? Just in general. How the hell are you?
I'm doing fine.
I can't believe that it's almost been 11 months that we've been in stay at home down here. I don't know, like...
we've talked about this before. We're in a slightly different situation where they're like, don't go anywhere if you don't have to. But like the schools are open here. The groceries, most of the stores are open, but under strict guidelines. Cat's going spacey, but she was doing that before, and it's got nothing to do with the pandemic.
That's not a pandemic specific thing. Yeah.
We've been out. How am I supposed to see this? Is what I want to. I really need to rethink my light setup. So we actually, we're not going to restaurants or anything like that, but you can still go to the grocery. I'm doing like our shopping, like large chunks of our shopping, either at the local IGA, which is relatively low key. It's one of those smaller, when they used to put grocery stores in strip malls in the 80s, so they're not terribly huge. They have everything you need. It's just they're not Walmart, right? So I go to that sometimes, or I go to Walmart, but I save it till 10:30.
So you're going at a later time when nobody's there.
Just before they close. Yeah. Like I went last night, and I think it was me. Like it was me and one other guy when they were like, "All right, get the hell out," and that's fine. I got that down to a science. But yeah, the rest of it is probably similar to you, just working from home and
hanging out with the kids.
Stuff.
I mean, at least your kid can go to school. Like,
yeah, he doesn't want to, but he can.
Well, I feel like that's half of what we're going through right now is like just that cabin fever of nobody's leaving the house, nobody's going anywhere.
Yeah, the loss of the personal trainer was a bit of a blow, and I've tried to keep on top of it from home, but I need to get
exercise.
More into that.
It's just all the little things that are just like
The trouble is when I'm home, I really Cat, take your stupid laser mouse and go. No,
get out.
Lately, this is the only place you can play with it. It's like right here next to my desk. Ugh. Tiny little idiot. All right, where am I at here? So I find myself doing things like it's spare time stuff. I played more games than I've ever had a chance to in the past, which I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
Filling out my, hitting up eBay for that and that and that and that and that. Like I collect. There's a certain the old Nero Wolfe mystery books. I collect those. I got all the soft cover, but now I'm trying to find hardcovers of them. Not super speculative. They're expensive.
Yeah.
Last time I was back in Calgary before things went really pear-shaped with the pandemic. Calgary has very few used bookstores. For a city its size, it's ridiculous.
Interesting.
Really, really ridiculous.
Is that because they depend on the big box, chapters type stores or something, or
they're kind of a very spread out city. Really spread out. Suburbs start just outside of the downtown core sort of thing, and it's the old strip malls and all that are kind of gone. Areas that used to have used bookstores have gentrified themselves away, and they're down to just a couple. And one of them is actually he's a serious collector guy. He's only open on certain days, and if you want to go in other days, you can book an appointment, because that means he's selling books that if you have to ask, you cannot afford them.
Yeah,
I went in and he had his case in the back. I found a book club edition of one. Oh, and I found the Space Vampires, which was the book that Life Force was based on. Sorry. I sanded the wall down here earlier.
Ooh.
I just got some in my throat. Ugh.
That's not good at all. That's not good.
But he had a glass case in the back, and he had all the British editions of the Nero Wolfe books, and they were $250 for a single one. I was like, oh god.
Whew.
They were so pretty. So pretty.
When you're into that kind of book collecting, that's when you need to start, getting fireproof safes to put things in and start insuring your purchases. And
I spent a few years just getting all the stories in paperback, which I did. So, that's done. Now I have to ask myself questions like, do I want to try and collect different runs of them? Because different publishers had different eras for certain chunks of his books. And those ones have like the great 70s covers and stuff like that. But for the hard covers, what I spend my time doing is I'm perfectly happy with the book club editions have some real great covers and all that. So I'm happy with that. I can pick them up for $10 a piece and stuff like that.
Don't need to necessarily get those first edition.
No. I can even pick up ones where the dust jacket. I got one that was hard to find, and there's actually a place where you can buy the replica dust jacket. But I found the art somewhere online, and I touched it up and reprinted it out. And what I do with these old paperbacks is I buy the that library archival that plastic stuff they put around dust jackets at the library. You contact like a there's
just the places that's heavy mylar or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not even mylar, is it? It's something.
No, it's a it's a mylar. It's just a thin mylar, and they no, where'd it go? Into the engine block, but not out the other side. Oh god, we may have to just
turn it around and shake that thing upside down, man. Just do it. Let's see where.
Seriously, where'd it go?
Where did it go? That's one of those ones where we turn around and we're going to be doing the exhaust pipes, and you're just going to hear like a pink. It's going to hit.
I found this stupid screw. Where the hell's the little plastic piece?
Were you putting those ground terminals on? What
yes. The one that goes onto the
wheel well.
Wheel well cover there. Bet you it's stuck in the. That's that. No. Wait, something just flipped out.
Shake it. Go. I told you they're tiny. They're like microscopic, and it makes sense. They're just little grounding terminals, so they're so small. But
yeah. Anyways, I replicated a dust jacket. Once you put the thing over it, they just look great. So who cares, right? So I'll buy like editions where they're like book club edition, which already brings the price down, and they're like dust jackets, in kind of crummy shape. But again, once you put the mylar thing around it, it's holding everything in place. Who cares? They look great. So I've been doing a little bit of that, picking up some wax wrappers for my collection, that sort of thing. That's basically what I've been doing, is sorting through my stuff, finally catching up, sorting my comics. When I moved into this place like 4 years ago, it's going to do it again. Like, that's the worst part. Where's the time to use the pliers?
Yeah, use those. Yeah. I'm making you talk while you do it. That's part of the other problem too. Is you're talking about all the stuff that
I can talk crap while I do crap. Kind of goes hand in hand with like I'm going to sort through my Ghostbusters and get rid of. Like I was thinking about it, there's stuff in there that I've had for a long time, like because nobody else was looking for it. It was easy to get. Like I have a complete set of the real Ghostbusters birthday party stuff, like. And again, I'm looking at them going, these are great.
I think
I really don't need them.
you should do one of those live. I'm trying to remember one of the Ghostbusters franchises just did it recently. They do it a couple times, and did the Containment Unit do it? Just do one of those live. Hop on Instagram Live and show stuff off and do claim sales and give your fans out there a chance to buy stuff from your collection and don't necessarily have to deal with the eBay of it all. And then we get to see all the cool stuff that's in your collection before it goes away too.
Yeah, that could be a. Could be a thing.
proton charging, the proton estate sale, proton charging estate sale. I don't know. We'll workshop some titles. You're the better title person,
right.
Mr. Deke Peaks.
Buy my crap.
Buy my stuff.
Buy my stuff. That one goes that way. Yeah, so like I'm sorting through my wax wrappers. I just found a place. So 2 of them that I bought, speaking of King Kong, I have one of the old King Kong wax wrappers. And it came in a little Mylar thing. It's designed for, what do they call it? A top loader. And it's a hard Mylar. And they're like, for photos. I was like, no, for wax wrappers. And I found the people who make it. And I bought like a set of 25. And I got way more than 25, but...
And you're talking wax wrappers like the Topps trading cards, like the wacky packs.
I picked 4 that I framed and I'm gonna put up on the.
Oh, that's such a cool idea with the mat board and everything. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here, let me show you here.
Wow, dude. So is that gonna go on the wall to your left there?
Probably, yeah.
Speaking of Magnum PI, I didn't even know that Magnum PI had a trading card set. I'm
surprised at the stuff that has trading cards too.
Yeah,
and then the good old.
There's the wacky. Yeah.
What I am jealous of is a friend of mine works at Rethink Advertising. I don't know. Do you have A&W ads down there? You don't, do you?
Not in California, but in Colorado we did. Yeah, there were.
So do you remember the ones with the manager? The guy who played all these...
I don't remember. I don't even remember seeing ads for A&W. A&W was just always kind of like on the road trips.
Oh, I know. Do you remember early on the bus stop that had the 3M's unbreakable glass and $1 million inside? And if you get busted, the money was yours?
Yeah,
that was one of theirs.
Yeah.
Why did I bring him up? Oh, I've been to the office for a few Christmas parties and stuff like that, and there on the wall is an uncut sheet of wacky packages, like right off the line, uncut. So it's this oversized poster print of just the cards. So beautiful. So beautiful. Anyways, so that's what I'm doing. How are you?
I got a whole lot of nothing. I feel like we've been reliving the Ned Ryerson Groundhog Day routine here for the last 300 some days. It's just like...
So, it's Wednesday again.
It's Wednesday again. At least we're building our Ecto-1 kit, this is the highlight. This right here is what's keeping me going. Getting those grounding terminals and those wires hooked into the battery, that's like the most I've accomplished in 3 weeks.
This is just the boring end bit too. If you want to sign off, this might be the good place. But I'm just literally fiddling with.
No, I mean, well, let's do this for everybody out there at home, because last week was a short episode. This week is kind of like a double episode. So there you go. You're getting your money's worth this week. I am interested in your thoughts on the 300th episode. If you guys would want to join us in this Brady Bunch style. I know a lot of people have Zoom fatigue. I know it's real and nobody really wants to watch multi-screen Brady Bunch stuff anymore. But please, if that's what you guys want to do, we're all for it. I would love to meet and talk with a lot of our listeners, and that would be a lot of fun to do 300. If you have another idea, if you would rather see us do a live reading of Shakespeare, I don't know. Like, if there's something that you would rather see, let us know. But just hit us up in the comments. Anywhere that you can comment at us, we'll see it. All right, Chris, what do you got in terms of final thoughts while you're putting those battery cables in?
My final thought is, where did I put those tweezers? How am I going to get these little hoses on?
Hold on, where did you leave the tweezers? Because I feel like that's a malpractice suit waiting to happen if...
It's here on the table somewhere. It has to be. I know. I just don't know.
Yeah, they got to be around somewhere. These guys, the tweezers that they gave us, I want to say that was in issue 4. Hold on to these suckers. These things come in handy, and hold on to the clear little retaining sleeve that comes with it, so you can keep them nice and tight.
Yeah. Hang on. I hate trying to... Here we go. Focus.
There you go.
So you tweezer into the end of the hose.
Give it a little something something.
Stretches it out, which allows you to then
throw that guy in there.
Perfect.
Well, your final thought was looking for the tweezers, and you found the tweezers.
So that's it. I'm done.
That's pretty good. I feel pretty good about that. But
I'm fine with that. Okay, that one goes to there.
I will take it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I got no real final thoughts, to be honest.
Please, we did see one of our listeners out there is thinking about starting up their own real Ghostbusters podcast. Like, to chime in on what Chris was saying a couple weeks ago, like, we've got a lot of time to fill now until November. So whatever makes you happy, whatever fulfills your time as a Ghostbusters fan, start a podcast, write some fanfics, work on your pack. My pack needs a whole lot of TLC. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking of all the things that have broken back there that I got to fix. Spend the time wisely. And especially if you are like us in Los Angeles, if you're stuck at home or you should be stuck at home, spend the time wisely. Hang out with family. If you don't have family, work on projects. If you don't have projects, reach out to us and we will assign work to you because I got enough to delegate to a whole army. And we'll certainly put you to work. But so, and tell us about the 300th episode, what you guys want to see or not.
Bill Murray's not an option. Don't ask.
Bill Murray's not an option. Bill Murray is doing a pro-am this weekend. And but stay safe, Bill Murray. That's all I can say. Until next week, everybody, we will see you all on the other side.